What makes this a difficult problem is the fact that it is not a right triangle, and we're asking you to solve for a missing side. And the problem with it not being a right triangle is you can't use Pythagorean's theorem, you can't use SOHCAHTOA, those things just go out the window, those are for right triangles only. We have to use one of these two other things, which are more powerful laws than the first two. We're going to use law of sines or law of cosines. It's a matter of deciding which one. Now, this problem gives you a pretty big hint, right? It says, hey guys, the law of sines, blah, 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 blah. So that's a good hint. We're going to be using the law of sines. And that should always be your first try. Law of cosines is what you use if the law of sines doesn't work. And I'm not going to get into that in this video because this is a law of sines problem. But let's talk about what's required to use the law of sines. I just want to double check to make sure law of sines really is appropriate here. What you need is a matching pair. Okay? And what I mean is a matching angle and side. That's what a matching pair refers to. So do we have a matching pair? Do we have an angle and the side opposite that angle? Well, I've got this angle 32 degrees, but I don't know that side right there. So that's not great. And I've got this angle right here, but I don't know that side over there either. And I've got a side, but I don't know an angle. So at first glance, it seems like there's nothing matching. But if you take a closer look, you'll realize that even though I don't have any matching pairs, I can get one awfully easily. See this angle right here, B? I know the other two angles. So B should be equal to 180 minus those other two angles. Remember, they all have to add up to 180. So this is how you can figure out a missing angle if you have two of them already. So let's see what we get here. 180 minus 32 minus 40 gives me 108 degrees. And now, look at what we have. I've got 108 degrees right here, meaning there is a matching pair, an angle and the side opposite. So we are good to go on the law of sines. Let's remind ourselves how to use this thing. Okay, what does the law of sines actually say? It states that for any triangle, the ratio of the sine of an angle to the length of the opposite side is a constant value. Okay? That's a clue. It's not a formula. If you know the formula already, this should give you a push in the right direction. But the way the formula is stated is this. Sine of A over A equals sine of B over B equals sine of C over C. It's actually a pretty easy formula. And what it's saying here is the ratio of the sine of an interior angle, that's this thing, to its side, that's this ratio right here, is constant, meaning it doesn't matter if you're talking about angle A, side A, angle B, side B, or angle C, side C. It will always be the same number. So we're now going to use this to solve our triangle right here. Well, I know angle B. Let's talk about the things I know. Okay. I know angle B, and I know side B. So I know I'm going to want to use this portion of the formula. And what do I want? I want side C, and I have angle C. So I'm going to focus on this portion of the formula over here. Let's write it all out. This is going to be sine of 108 degrees divided by 15, right? That's little b right there. Remember, the little letter always goes across from the big letter opposite it. And then sine of C, angle C, that's sine of 40 degrees divided by little c. Well, I don't know what little c is. Okay, so I want to know what is the centimeter length of side AB. In other words, what's that C thing? Well, we have to do some algebra at this point, but it's not too bad. I'm going to multiply each of these fractions by things to make them not fractions anymore. Okay, I'm going to multiply each side by C. That's going to cross out these C's. And I'm going to multiply each side by 15. That's going to cross out the 15s. So what we get is the following. I get C times the sine of 108 equals 15 times the sine of 40 degrees. And now I just divide each side by sine of 108, and I have my answer. Right, over here those cancel out, all that's left is C, and what we want is to calculate this. 15 times the sine of 40 divided by the sine of 108. And it's in here somewhere. Here we go, right there.